Welcome, one and all, to another 1v1. This one's got some pretty big funds, I think about 17,000. That's why my army looks a little bit bigger than his, I've got more units. But when I joined the lobby and I saw him playing as the Chaos Warriors, I opted to go for the Vampire count so that we could have a kind of non-ranged battle, because neither faction really has any ranged units, so I thought that might be fun, just a straight up melee war. So this is my front line, Skeleton Spearmen on the edges, Skeleton Warriors in the middle. So a pretty weak front line, but that's fine, that's kind of part of my plan. I also bought some Crypt Ghouls. I've never really used them that much, so I'm not really sure how great they are. They don't have a ton of armor, but their damage is pretty good. More Skeleton Spearmen knocking around, and my elite infantry is of course some Graveguard. Not the best one, but still pretty strong, 90 armor, lots of melee defense, melee attack, weapon strength, blah blah blah. Some Crypt Horrors, also to back up my crappy front line of skeletons. My General is a Vampire Lord yet again, with his own little personal bodyguard of a White King, because he sucks at melee. Then out on the wings, I've got me 2 units of Black Knights. Not the greatest cavalry in the world, but cavalry nonetheless. And then because I was expecting maybe a fair few monsters from my opponent, I brought a Terrorgeist who can go Juan on Juan with any big ass monsters that they might have. Also got some zombies, just because I had the money left over. I've got a Black Coach. I really like the Black Coach actually. I think it's a really strong unit if you can use it right. And then I've got some of these boys, the Blood Knights. This is the new unit that was included in the update. I haven't tried them before. This is literally my first battle ever using them, so I'm not sure how they're going to do. I don't know how good they are, but I know they're a shock cavalry and they've got a massive charge bonus, so that's all I need to know. And as for my opponent, the first thing you may or may not have noticed is all these boys back here. He's bought 5 units of Marauder Horsemen and he's spawned them in behind me as they have Vanguard deployment. And I didn't notice this till he got pretty close, in all honesty, so he pulled one over on me there a little bit. His main army, he's gone for quality over quantity really. He doesn't have loads, but he's got good units, good strong units. He's got Chaos Halberds on the edges to defend my cavalries. He's got 2 units of Chaos Chariots, not a bad unit if you can get them in the right areas. His main infantry is Chaos Warriors. These are pretty tough, 100 armor, 36 weapon strength, 44, 34 melee attack. Pretty strong, pretty damn strong unit for the price. Chaos Marauders, they're the cheapest ones. Also got some Chaos Spawn, a good unit if you can keep them away from anti-large. And a Chaos Sorcerer of the Death Persuasion. I'll give you 3 guesses what he wants to use that for. His general is mounted on a flying beast. I'm not sure which general it is. It's no one special. It's not Archaon or anything. And yeah, that's pretty much his army. Oh, I've also got some Hex Wraiths hidden over here in the bushes. So I've got my own little hidden units. And I've also brought some bats. I don't really know why. They're kind of useless. I mostly use them for distracting ranged units, of which he has none. So probably wasted money there, but it's all good, it's all good. So I'm moving up now. My opponent is staying in the same place. He doesn't want to move his main army up apparently. He's going to play the defensive game. That might be because of all these marauders who are now coming up behind me. Now, I've seen a few people try this sort of tactic online where they bring loads of skirmisher cav, but I've never seen it being very effective. I think it's just because skirmisher cav isn't very strong in this game. It just doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, even with 5 units. I've seen people try this sort of thing with Outriders, with Goblin Wolf Riders, Marauders, and it just never seems to come off. So this whole Vanguard deployment, hiding behind the enemy army at the start of the battle thing is cool. You don't see people do it very often. That's why I didn't really check for it, because it's very rare, especially with this many units. But in my experience, Skirmisher Cav sucks. So I'm bringing my Terrorgeist over because he enjoys munching on crappy horses. I'm also sending my Blood Knights. I thought this would be a good opportunity to test them out. If they can get hold of any Marauder Horsemen, they will tear their frickin' heads off and then probably eat them. I'm just waiting for my Terrorgeist to arrive so we can kind of attack together. It also stops them skirmishing away. I charge them, but they do skirmish straight away. And the Blood Cav, they've only got 75 speed compared to the 90 odd speed of the Marauders. But in a wildlife sort of fashion, one unit gets separated from the pack, like lions chasing gazelles or something. These little gazelles have been separated, and now they've been munched down by a Terrorgeist. He manages to hold on to a few horses, which makes the rest of the unit come back for it. So we pulled in that unit, otherwise they would have just skirmished off. And my opponent must have not been looking at this situation. My Blood Cav, they're still chasing after those, taking a bit of fire, but they probably won't take too much damage because they got really high armor. My front line's about to engage with his front line, and I'm not expecting my front line to do very well. They're very outmatched against Chaos Warriors, but that's okay. I just want them to kind of soften things up for my Graveguard and my Crypt Horrors and such. On the right flank, the battle's going on. I'm sending my bats in for no reason at all. His Chaos Chariots charge my skeletons in the face. Does quite a bit of damage to them. They're the ones who are really susceptible to those sort of things. See, they're wavering already. My Blood Knights, however, have managed to trap all these Marauder Horsemen in the corner of the map. This is fantastic for me. It means when they rout, they're going to run off of the map, and when they run off the map, that's it, they're not coming back. So there's still probably a lot of men left in these units, but because they're going off the map, they're done. So 4 units pretty much wiped out there by my Blood Knights. Awesome. Getting a charge in here with my Hex Wraiths. They don't really have a great charge bonus, but it's a charge nonetheless into some of these halberds. Try to even the odds a bit on the right side. But generally, across the front line, things are looking pretty grim, but that's okay. That's kind of what I expected, especially when I leave Skeleton Warriors stood around doing nothing. As I said, just softening them up. In the middle here, he's got his Chaos Chariots into all my good units, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So I've cast Curse of Years on him to try and bring his attack down and stuff. Trying to prevent him from doing too much damage to my Graveguard, as they are my instrumental unit in destroying all of these bastards. My Skeleton Warriors are failing. I start to move my Black Knights up, and everything else in my army should be arriving soon. Now these Black Knights, I decided to charge them headlong into these Chaos Warriors and try to pull them through, because these 2 units of halberds here are going to be very difficult to maneuver around. So I decided to go straight through the middle. There was a bit of a gap, so I charged my horsemen in. I don't leave them there, I try to pull them through. If I can get them into the back of some enemy units, get some charges in, it'll help a lot. My Graveguard are just about to arrive. My Black Coach is just about to arrive. My Hex Wraiths, I probably shouldn't have left them there fighting halberds. Could have done with a better matchup there, I think. Sending my bats in for no fucking reason at all, because they're useless. But my Graveguard's about to arrive now, so that's the important thing. And this lot, my Crypt Horrors, my Crypt Ghouls, my Graveguard, all my important units are starting to move up, getting rid of these damn Chaos Chariots. They've done quite a lot of damage though, to be fair. He's done well with them. He casts Fate of Una here, which is typically known as a cheese spell. I'm not sure how much cheese it is. It may have been buffed down a bit. I really don't know. But either way, it's a bit of a cheese spell nonetheless. Damages all my units in the area. So on the left, it's looking pretty grim. On the left flank, on the right flank, it's looking kind of even. Kind of in my favour, sort of. He's only got halberds and a couple of axe units. Got some chaos spawn over here. My Black Coach is stuck in here. I really didn't use my Black Coach very well. I should have got it away from all these monsters and spears and tried to get it into a better matchup. Could have been so much better for it. He's casting a spell on my general here. It is of course the one and only Spirit Leech. I didn't bring a Spirit Leech general because, you know, I know how to actually play the game. But along the front and the left wing, I don't really have a lot left. Only some Black Knights just holding off these warriors. I don't know why he's not getting his halberds into the Black Knights. That would get rid of them a touch quicker. But you can see my general's health now. He's only lost a quarter of his health. So Spirit Leech has been a little bit nerfed with the update, which is a positive. His Chaos Chariots are still going around running amok though. I did not do a very good job at all of controlling them or trying to get rid of them. I should have focused more on them because they pretty much ran around and did what they wanted. My Blood Knights are on the way back over though. They've destroyed those 4 units of Marauders. There's only one left that was fighting the Terrorgeist before. I guess they ran away though. My Graveguard here, going to do something hopefully. There we go. Going to get in, try to get rid of that Chaos Chariot, get rid of all the units over here. If we can win on the right side, we've lost on the left, but that's okay. We'll win on the right. My Hex Wraiths are doing pretty well. Over here, he's casting Spirit Leech on my Terrorgeist now. Sure. Good luck with that. He's flying away his general. All his left side units are coming over now. My Graveguard are here though, so they should be able to handle them pretty well. My Terrorgeist is in here destroying some Chaos Spawn. That is his forte. I brought over my general and the White King as well. Starting to rout some of these units. My Blood Knights have nearly arrived, just giving a little chase off to the Marauders. And my enemy has flown his general here into a crowd of my units. This will turn out to be his downfall. My zombies, got some zombies just moving in. My Hex Wraiths have just fallen though, so I'm losing units. At this point, I'm thinking things are looking a little bit bleak. He's got a lot of tough units left, and I don't really. I've got my Graveguard. There's another Spirit Leech going off on my general. Brilliant. Cool, good one. That's Spirit Leech number 3 for the day. And at this point, all I really have left is my Graveguard, my General and the White King, and my Terrorgeist, and my Blood Knights. That's about it. And he's got a lot of Chaos Warriors left, and they've got a lot of armor. They're a really tough unit. And he just cast Soul Blight on my units there, which is going to make them struggle even more. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm kind of in trouble. I don't really have enough decent units left to win this by brute force, so I need to come up with something. So what I decided to do is go after the General, the classic. He's put his General up in here. I've tied him up with as many units as possible. I've got my Blood Knights in there, my Terrorgeist, all my best units just focused on his General, not letting him escape because he could fly off if he gets out. I bring in my White King and stuff over as well. I want to get that General dead as quickly as possible. And then if I can manage to get the General dead, I can try to use Terror to scare off the units, because the Terrorgeist has the Terror ability, which means units will get scared of it and just run away. And if I can do that enough and use that in fighting all my other units, I could hopefully scare off a lot of his units. I have just managed to rout his General though, and I cast Curse of Years to try and slow him down to stop him running away. I'm going to do something very important here, and that's keep pursuing him. I've got my Terrorgeist to stay on him because that General's going to fly off. He's broken, but if I don't pursue him, he will return to the battle, so I've got to keep the Terror Ghost on him. He's casting yet another Spirit Leech with his Death Sorcerer, so that's Spirit Leech number 4, brilliant. Bringing my General's health down to probably about 3/4. He does have a bit of regen, I think. Still chasing off the General, so I've got to chase him to the edge of the map to get rid of him completely. On the left side, he's getting a charge in with those Chaos Chariots yet again, still running amok with them. Still got the 1 unit of Marauders around, I'm chasing them off, that's all good. My Blood Knights doing pretty well. They've got some halberds coming after them though, so I'm going to avoid those, going to get the Blood Knights away from the halberds. And the Blood Knights are actually an anti-large unit, so that's why I've got them attacking those Chaos Spawn there. They do very well against monsters. So you've got to keep them away from the anti-large, but other than that, they're doing pretty well. They got like 150 kills. Chased off those Marauders. Still very outnumbered on this left side, but my Graveguard are doing okay, they're holding strong. In the distance, you can see me chasing off the General with my Terrorgeist. This is why I kept pursuing him. You chase him to the edge of the map, he'll go out, and then he's gone forever, just like those Marauders earlier. So we've got rid of his General now. He's going to have a big morale penalty on all his units now. And this is my moment to try and seal the deal. My General taking a bit of flak for some Chaos Spawn. Blood Knights are just watching. Come on, help him. Some halberds still knocking around. They're fighting the White King. He's taking them on by himself because he's a boss. He's probably getting a little bit beat down to be fair, but he's alright. He's holding them off for now. Blood Knights getting that charge in on these Chaos Spawn. They should chew them down fairly quickly. 1 down. Brings the halberds over though. Got to avoid them, so we're going to get away from them again. But we saved our General, which was our purpose. White King still going nuts. Got a unit of Spearmen over there doing nothing. Bit of micro fail. Graveguard still holding. Very few men left, but still holding against halberds. Bringing my Terrorgeist over, so this is it. This is where I'm trying to use my Terror ability. So I'm going to bring my Terrorgeist in, try to hit them from the back. Just let them do loads of damage, mainly looking to reduce their leadership or morale as much as possible. You can see me getting a charge in here with my Blood Knights as well for the same purpose. Charge them in the back. There you go, look. Got them wavering already. This is wonderful news. Same thing with my Crypt Horrors here, getting the flanking in, hitting this unit in the side / back, bringing their morale down. They've got 20 leadership now. Not the best matchup for them because it's against spears, but don't really have much choice at the moment. Yep, you've guessed it. Spirit Leech number, is that Spirit Leech number 5, I think? Number 4 on my General. Number 5 overall. This guy loves a bit of the cheese. So good job they nerfed it. White King fighting these halberds. He'll do okay. He'll tie that unit up for now, which is good enough for me. Halberds over here are being routed. Pathetic Horsemen. I've got Graveguard chasing them. Not sure why. I probably should have had them in the main battle. Over with all the other melee units. Blood Knights are chasing them off. Are they going to catch them? They look kind of tired, those Marauders. I think I call them off in a minute. They've got bigger fish to fry. I am really impressed with these Blood Knights though. They're very strong. 150 kills. As you can see, they've got a huge charge bonus. Any charges are going to do tons of damage. I think they're pretty much there to be a Demigryph killer. And they're anti-large, so Demigryph killer. I get a bit worried here when my units start wavering. You just saw my General wavering there. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? Thought everyone was going to run away. He's trying to get my General dead now though. You can see his Chaos Spawn chasing after my General. These Crypt Horrors are doing okay against these. There you go, they're routing again, wavering again. My General's wavering again. He's bringing his Death Sorcerer over. I've got my Blood Knights there to support though. You see he runs his Sorcerer off there. You know he doesn't want to get charged by the Blood Knights. Chaos Spawn take it. One of them dies. I run them off there, I'm not sure why. So now pretty much for him, he's got to get my General dead. So you see he turns him around, goes for a one-on-one with my General. I really don't have a lot of health with my General. Bring in those Blood Knights to support, get a charge in. I then pull my General through the unit, purposely, so that they can protect him basically and he can't get to my General. But then he brings over the halberds from the other side, and then I move my General out to the side just to keep him away. So I'm trying to keep my General out of the battle at the moment because he doesn't have a lot of health, so I've got to keep him alive. If he falls, that could be the end of him. I brought my Terrorgeist over to try and help as well, just to keep him safe. White King's coming over, trying to protect my General as much as possible, because if he goes down, everything could waver and rout like instantly. So very important to keep him alive. He's just running off by himself at the moment. My Blood Knights start to waver briefly. I did just give them an attack buff to help them take down that Sorcerer a little bit quicker. But they come back, they're okay. They're not wavered just yet. My Crypt Horrors have pretty much beaten everything on the left. He's got a unit over there doing nothing of Chaos Warriors. They could have been really useful. Micro fail on his part. Just getting a charge into these halberds. He's cast a buff on them to give them some leadership and some terror, potentially cause terror, which would be useful right now, but given that I've got a Terrorgeist, I think I out-terror him. He's again still trying to get my General dead. See, charging that Chaos Spawn after him, charging his Sorcerer after him. just cast Curse of Years to help bring their attack down. My general just got smashed out the way by my Terrorgeist. I think he actually probably saved him there, did my Terrorgeist, so good work Terrorgeist. We've routed the Sorcerer now, so it's just down to these last couple of units. We just got to get rid of them. Going to bring my Terrorgeist in. I raise a unit of zombies, because, you know, why not? I probably should have done this sooner actually. I think it would have been better to raise some zombies when he was trying to kill my general more. And they would have tied up all the other units and kept them from my general, but the mass rout ensues anyway. And we all know what that means. When all the white flags start a-raising, that means you're a-losing. There we go. Pyrrhic victory. Very Pyrrhic victory. A very close one there. Good game to my opponent, bar all of his spirit leeching. But apart from that, it was a good game. You can see the difference in the deployed numbers. I had more than 1,000 troops on him. So you can see why his units have got tons of kills. All his units, most of them have got over 100 kills. So all his units did really well. Apart from the Marauder Horsemen. Like I said, Marauder Horsemen, Skirmisher Cav, they just pretty much suck. Wouldn't even bother with them. My units didn't really do... My Skeleton Warriors, my Frontline did barely anything. Graveguard did a bit. One unit did well. Came down mostly... 176 kills for my Blood Knights. Crazy strong unit. Really good. Terrorgeist did pretty well. Crypt Horrors did pretty well. So those were my strongest units. Hexwraiths. Hexwraiths got 94 kills. Who knew? I had them just left against Halberds half the time, but they still did really well. So there you go. A good 1v1, a close one. My opponent actually seemed to be a good player. I don't know why he felt the need to use Spirit Leech so much, but he seemed to understand matchups and that, so he knew what he was doing. And I don't think I played very well for the first half of this battle. I didn't really do anything good, apart from getting rid of those Marauders with the Blood Knights. That was very good. 4 units gone pretty early. They would have been a big trouble later on. But I think I just left my elite units, my really strong units that were meant to support the skeletons. I left them too far back so they couldn't get to the skeletons soon enough, and thus the skeletons were all dead by the time they got there. But when I did get my opportunity to take his general, he flew his general in, I tied him up, I took him out, got rid of him, chased him off, and then just flanked all his units and brought their morale down. That was my strategy for the second half, and it worked a treat. His biggest downfall was simply throwing his general in there like that. He got a bit careless with him, didn't give him anyone to support him, and when I brung all my units down on him, he just simply couldn't get away. And the fact I chased him off was key. If I hadn't chased him, his general would have come back to the battle, and he probably would have just kept him out of the way, would have kept his troop morale up, and he probably would have won. So I think without that general chase off, I would have lost. Other than that, I could have just done more to stop those Chaos Chariots charging around. He did really well with those. I should have tried harder to get rid of them, because they did a lot of damage to a lot of my units. And I should have used my Black Coach better. I really wish I'd used that more efficiently, because it really didn't do too much. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you people soon.